Hello everyone, I invite you to every Friday cryptocurrency review. Let's start by checking the current situation on BTC domination on the 4-hour interval. First, we will use the blue lines to define the local channel of the downward trend in which the price has rebounded from the upper limit. Now we can move on to marking support places in the event that capital continues to move to alts. And here, first of all, we have visible support at the price of 52.52%. Then at the lower border of the channel there is a visible support zone from 52.10% to 51.57%. And then we see support around 50%. Looking the other way, we will check the resistance areas, and here we can see that resistance has formed at the level of 53.12%. Then there is a resistance zone from 53.59% to 53.86%, and then strong resistance around 54.58%. Please pay attention to the CHOP index, which indicates that most of the energy has been used. On the RSI indicator we have returned to the support point, which could have resulted in a slowdown in the decline. While on the stock indicator there is a movement below the lower limit, which may also translate into a rebound. Now we can go to the BTC to USDT chart, and here we will check the situation on a 1-hour time frame. It is worth starting by identifying the upward trend line from which the price broke sideways. Moving in the local sideways trend channel. Now let's move on to marking the support places. We will use trend-based fib extension grids to mark the supports. And here we can immediately see that the price remains in the support zone from $43,691 to $43,510. Then there is support at $42,961. And then we can see a decline to around $42,083. Looking the other way, we can similarly mark places where the price should encounter resistance on the way up. As you can see, resistance has formed at the level of $43,801. Then, right at the upper border of the horizontal trend channel, there is a resistance zone from $44,216 to $44,435, and when it is overcome, we can see an increase to around $45,064. When we turn on EMA cross 10 and 30, we can see that they indicate a return to the local downtrend. It is worth watching the indicator's behavior in the coming hours. The CHOP index indicates that there is still energy to make a move. On the RSI, we are moving around the middle of the range in a local downward trend, while the stock indicator remains at the lower limit, which may result in an attempt to increase the price. Now we can go to the ETH to USDT pair chart, and here we will come back to the 4-hour time frame. First, we will determine the local channel of the downward trend from which the price broke out with an upward movement. In order to determine resistances, it is worth spreading the fib retracement grid, and we will see that the price is struggling with a strong resistance zone from $2,294 to $2,343, and when it is overcome, it will move towards the next important resistance at $2,404. In the same way, to determine the supports, we will unfold the fib retracement grid again. We will see support at the level of $2,257. The next one is around $2,203, and then it is worth defining the support zone from $2,165 to $21,117, right at the lower border of the previously mentioned channel. The chop indicator shows that there is still energy to make a move. The RSI indicator is approaching the upper limit, which may affect the price recovery. And the stock indicator shows a move near the upper limit, which may also affect the price's attempt to recover. The last one on today's list is the ETC to USDT chart. First, we will use yellow lines to mark the downward trend line from which the price broke out with an upward movement. And currently we can see movement along the local upward trend line. With the current upward movement, it is worth spreading the fib retracement grid, thanks to which we can determine a strong resistance zone from $21.58 to $22.39, in which the price is currently struggling, while an upward move from this zone may result in an upward movement around $23.44. On the other hand, when the recovery begins, we can see support at $20.80. Then we can mark the zone from $19.94 to $19.33, and then support at $18.54. If we look at the RSI indicator, we will see a movement at the upper limit of the range. Just as on the stock indicator, we are also bouncing from the upper limit. Looking at both of these indicators, we can expect the price to recover in the coming hours. Technical analysis is provided by a third party and for informational purposes only. It does not reflect the views of CryptoDaily, nor is it intended to be used as legal, tax, investment, or financial advice.